Matthew, perhaps first,
Okay.
please.
Oh, great. Thanks a lot. And I'm sorry, there was a Security Council meeting, but I'm just glad to hear this. I just wanted to ask, and it may have come up, if so, that's what I'm apologizing for, is the role of women in actual combat. I've seen a lot of materials about like YPG, particularly with the Kurdish groups, that their military force fighting ISIS is, you know, pretty integrated by gender. And do you view, is this within your ambit of, in terms of countering terrorism? This seems to be actually women who are potentially victims directly confronting the terrorist group which threatens them. So what can you say about that? And then one thing that came to mind is in a previous conflict in Sri Lanka, where some people call this a terrorist conflict, there's been a lot of academic research about the role of women in both trying to reconciliation and sin. So I want to, I guess, throw that out and say, beyond today's conflicts, are you looking back at any, other conflicts and what lessons can be learned from them?
Sorry, Matthew, your question was directed to Mr. Laborde? Or both?
I'll take whoever feels passionate to answer.
Can I speak also?
You can speak about that, but I will also speak about the future after
Okay.
that.
Of course, that's when we speak about countering terrorism and extremism in different ways, we don't have, as women's organizations, to do with military things directly. As these Kurdish women, the young Kurdish women joined, the Peshmerga, joining the security forces. They are in their ranks with the others, with the security. But we try, how to get, more education, more awareness, where to be women to be aware, young people to be aware, and young women to be involved, about how it was misused, the religious or misuse of the Quran, interpreter. It is essential now. If we want to fight, it is not just only military operations. It is needed, first of all, it is the awareness. And the awareness, it is the core way, if we speak about changing on countering, extremism and terrorism. And that's what we are trying to do within the community meetings. We do, national conferences. We do workshop with the religious. We do workshop with the young people. And especially the young people now, they are joining the militia. The local militia who fights ISIS, because in our country is not only the army, but there are local militia. That's how we can really try to influence these young people that the fighting is not for the sectarian or for the religious. It's fight for the country. It's fight for the interest of people. And that's what we are trying to do in our campaign.
Yes, I would like to speak about the policy of and how CTED can propose a policy for the Counter-Terrorist Committee of the Security Council on the role of the women. First of all, concretely speaking, this afternoon we have an open briefing of the Counter-Terrorist Committee, led and chaired by our ambassador, who is the ambassador of Lithuania, who is a woman, and I think that it is important also to show that the Counter-Terrorist Committee of the Security Council, led by a woman, led by the ambassador of Lithuania, can take up these elements of the policy. We hope that after the open briefing, we will have also other actions. And not only we hope, that I will propose other actions. First of all, that in the assessment that we conduct in the countries, there would be a part which is probably devoted actually to how to counter violent extremism, which will be extended also more precisely to the role of the women in countering violent extremism. And you know that the resolution 1624 will be, the 10th anniversary of the resolution 1624 will be celebrated next week. And I really feel that in this context, we need to insist on that and on the fact that this element should be also be brought into the larger context of PVE and the prevention of violent extremism and the plan of action of the UN in these elements. That's something that I will, of course, insist on. The second element, the third element, sorry, is the fact that in a broad sense, and I want to come back to what I said, the role of the civil society has to have always an element of inclusion of the women. And we have, as I said, we have Soraya from Kenya, and we have here also Esther from Nigeria, who can really bring all the elements that they have already in hands. And I would like to insist not only on the courage of these remarkable women who face situation on the ground, but on the fact that we should have this element probably in our policies, which makes sense that we have people who are really practically combating terrorism on the ground with their tools, which are not the tools of normal tools of counterterrorism, with their tools which can be integrated in our counterterrorism policies, especially to show to the Security Councils that there is also this way to counter terrorism.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid that's the time we have today. I know there was a question in the back. I'm sorry we didn't get to you. If you're interested, I'm sure we can set something up outside after with women activists who are here. Thank you all for coming.
And don't miss the open briefing if you can, because then you will have more time to see what we do and what also is done in Nigeria and in Kenya. Thank you.